Back on December 14, 2014, over the remote Komodo Islands of Indonesia, the Guinness Book of World Records bore witness to a monstrous reptile, a staggering 101.5 pounds in weight, gobbling up a wild pig weighing a hefty 90 pounds in one colossal gulp, nearly matching its very own body weight. In the aftermath of this grand banquet, the weight of this colossal reptilian beast doubled in the process. This monumental feast stands as one of the largest ever consumed by any reptilian creature. Well, not just your run-of-the-mill reptile, mind you. It is the planet's largest lizard, a top-tier predator so formidable that it could make you ponder the age of dinosaurs. At times, it even gets wrongly accused of being a direct descendant of those mighty creatures that once ruled the Earth. Meet the terrifying overlords of the islands, the Komodo Dragons. Varanus komodoensis, commonly referred to as the Komodo Dragon or Komodo monitor, claims its rank as Earth's largest venomous terrestrial creature, and likewise the most colossal extant species of lizard. This formidable member of the 𝗪𝗔𝗪𝗧 family, known to thrive solely within the Indonesian archipelago, specifically the islands of Komodo, Rinca, Flores, and 𝗘𝗫𝗢𝗪𝗏, first appeared in European records in 1910. This mysterious nature led to rumors of it being kin to crocodiles, a perception that endures among some native communities on the Komodo Island, where it is still referred to as the land crocodile. Being one of the world's most ancient reptiles, the Komodo dragon's evolutionary journey stretches back some 40 million years. Originating within the Varanus genus, it embarked on a migration that eventually led it to Australia, where it underwent significant growth, transforming it into colossal forms. Over centuries, it honed survival features that set it apart. Consider its telltale venom, a potent substance known to wreak havoc in mere hours. This venom seeps forth from paired glands in the jaws, packed with toxins that can debilitate even the largest of prey. When humans fall victim to the Komodo dragon's bite, the venom ushers in rapid swelling, disruptions in clotting, and agonizing pain that can persist for hours. While the venom alone may not prove lethal to humans, when coupled with bleeding and other factors, it gets vicious, and it can end up in dire consequences. As it happened in the year 2009, on a seemingly ordinary evening, 31-year-old 𝗪𝗏𝗥𝗟𝗏 went to harvest sugar apples from an orchard within the Komodo Island. While doing so, he accidentally fell from a tree, and two Komodo dragons attacked him. His neighbors heard the noise and rushed to help, but tragically, upon their arrival, 𝗪𝗏𝗥𝗟𝗏 had already sustained mortal wounds, with his body bearing the gruesome aftermath of bites to his hands, torso, limbs, and neck. He passed away shortly after the harrowing attack in a clinic on Flores Island. In the year 2001, investigative journalist Phil Bronstein, accompanied by his wife, actress Sharon Stone, found themselves entangled in a fateful encounter with a Komodo dragon in the Los Angeles Zoo. In an unexpected twist during a surprise visit arranged by Stone, Bronstein entered the cage of the lizard that was seemingly captivated by his white shoes. Without warning, the dragon lunged forth, resulting in a vicious bite to his foot. Although Bronstein momentarily subdued the formidable reptile, he still lost half of his foot. Nevertheless, despite whatever the venom may possess, the Komodo dragon packs enough oomph in its physical appearance to give its unsuspecting prey a run for their money. So much so that the inspiration for the fictional King Kong beast, although looking like a gorilla, actually came from those Komodo dragons studied during a 1926 expedition to Komodo Island. The Komodo dragon is like a ginormous lizard, sporting a muscular tail as long as its own body, armed with formidable 60 teeth that grow back often and can stretch up to an inch, or 2.5 centimeters. Its mouth might look like a menacing abyss. Besides that, these gigantic reptiles also have a super long, yellow, split-in-the-middle tongue for sensing things around them. And as if that weren't enough, its skin is like it's wearing its own set of medieval armor, covered in scales with tiny bones called osteoderms that work like a natural suit of chainmail. Out in the wild, an average adult male Komodo dragon weighs in at 174 to 201 pounds and measures a solid 8.5 feet, while the females usually tip the scales at 150 to 161 pounds and measure in at 7.5 feet. However, the heaviest of Komodo dragons, recorded way back in 1928, measured a whopping 10.2 feet and weighed 365 pounds. In contrast to their extraordinary sizes, Komodo dragons have rather limited hearing and were once believed to be stone deaf. However, nature compensated for this with some remarkable sensory perks. They boast an exceptional sense of taste, a keen nose, and a decent daytime vision. enabling them to spot things as far as 980 feet away when the sun is up. Yet these reptilian giants lean heavily into their taste and smell. Their tongue and 𝗪𝗪𝗔𝗟𝗪𝗘 organ do the detective work, not their nostrils, which are perched inside their nasal cavity near the mouth's rooftop. However, among all their characteristics, perhaps the most significant one is their colossal stature, and the reason behind it is a real head-turner. This is where evolution comes into play once again, thanks to a phenomenon known as the island effect. When a species gets marooned on an island, things get weird in terms of size. They might end up much larger or much smaller than their mainland counterparts. This happens because on islands there are often no large mammalian predators, which opens up new ecological niches for smaller animals that have their growth limited previously due to the lack of resources available and predation. When these limitations are removed, being larger becomes an advantage, and over time it becomes a common trait in these populations. This holds true for Komodo dragons, which are apex predators in their respective ecosystems. This means that being at the top of the food chain, there are typically no animals that prey upon them. Instead, they chow down on a varied menu, gobbling up invertebrates, fellow reptiles, birds, their eggs, small mammals, monkeys, wild boars, goats, deer, horses, and even the hefty water buffalo, not to mention their own smaller counterparts and snakes like king cobra in captive settings. With such a hefty palate to choose from, they've got an edge that's been on the menu for generations, causing the whole species to bulk up over time. Like this Komodo dragon ruthlessly devouring a hapless goat. With astonishing speed, the dragon closes in on the terrified goat, which screams in fear and desperately leaps away to escape its impending doom. However, the relentless dragon swiftly repositions itself, launching a lightning-fast assault from the opposite angle, sinking its teeth into the goat's back. Much like a merciless predator on the prowl, it carries the still screaming prey into the nearby bushes, leaving no hope for the frightened animal. While they're primarily scavengers capable of detecting carrion from distances of 2.5 to 5.9 miles away, Komodo dragons exhibit a cunning hunting strategy. They frequently lay an ambush for live prey, using stealth to their advantage. When potential prey ventures too close to a dragon's concealed position, it springs up into action, charging at high speeds and targeting vulnerable areas like the underside or throat. In some cases, when prey seems just out of reach, the Komodo dragon may rear up on its hind legs, deploying its tail for support in relentless pursuit. These formidable creatures dispatch their prey through a combination of tearing injuries and the resultant blood loss. However, those fortunate enough to escape an attack are said to succumb to sepsis and may later become a meal for either the same or a different lizard. Komodo dragons consume their prey by tearing off substantial chunks of flesh, swallowing them whole while using their forelegs to secure the carcass. For smaller prey, like goats, their flexible jaws, adaptable skulls, and expandable stomachs allow them to ingest prey entirely. Their profuse production of red saliva aids in food lubrication, although swallowing remains a protracted process lasting 15 to 20 minutes for a goat. To speed this up, a Komodo dragon may forcefully push the carcass against a tree, sometimes toppling the tree in the process. Due to their slow metabolism, even large dragons can subsist on as few as 12 meals annually. Among dragons of equal size, disputes often arise over food, resulting in what appears to be a sort of wrestling match. Typically, the defeated dragon retreats, but there have been instances of victors killing and consuming their rivals. In the context of human encounters, besides biting and aggressive attacks, these creatures have been known to consume human corpses, often unearthing them from shallow graves. This penchant for grave robbing prompted the villagers of Komodo to relocate their burial sites from sandy to clay soil and place rocks on top to deter these lizards. Komodo dragons tend to lead solitary lives and primarily come together for mating and feeding. Interestingly, they engage in one partner at a time, forming pair bonds during mating. This courtship ritual occurs from May to August, when males complete by grappling on their hind legs, while the victor uses his tongue to gauge the female's receptivity while she resists with claws and teeth initially. From August to September, females lay approximately 20 eggs, concealing them in various camouflaged nests to safeguard against egg-eating intruders. Remarkably, Komodo dragons can also reproduce via parthenogenesis, a form of asexual reproduction, with documented instances of females laying unfertilized eggs that develop into viable male offspring. However, this method exclusively produces males in this species. The vulnerability of Komodo dragons stems from various factors, including volcanic activity, earthquakes, habitat loss, poaching of prey, and illegal hunting of these rare dragons. Recent assessments by the IUCN in 2019 have classified this species as endangered, with an estimated 1,383 mature individuals still in existence. So, if you ever happen to meet a Komodo dragon, be sure to tell them to take their conservation seriously while running away. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.